Starts now.
Good evening, I'm Tanya O'Rourke in tonight for Carol. An over-the-Rhine man is jailed tonight charged with 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide.
That's the result of a police pursuit and violent crash downtown early today. 9 News reporter Tom McKee live with the story of how this tragedy unfolded. Tom?
Well, Clyde, this began when a Cincinnati police officer tried to make a stop on a stolen vehicle at Vine and Thill Streets in Mount Auburn. What followed was a 6-minute pursuit through 4 Cincinnati neighborhoods, and it ended right here on 8th and Sycamore Streets downtown with a violent crash that claimed the life of a cab driver and his blind passenger who was headed back to New York. Wednesday, 12:45 a.m. Officer Mark McChristian follows a vehicle up Vine Street in Mount Auburn, runs the plate, and learns it's been stolen.
Car driving at night, very deserted streets, and just be good old-fashioned police work, running the plate, making sure that everything was correct, and in fact it wasn't.
Armed with that information, Officer McChristian attempts a traffic stop.
This is the stop. He's at Thill Street. You see his door will start to open. Driver's door starts to open. And that fast the chase is on.
The pursuit goes from Mount Auburn into Corryville, back into Mount Auburn, then toward the over-the-Rhine at speeds topping 60 miles an hour. Finally, at 8th and Sycamore Streets downtown, a violent crash. A security camera catches the SUV plowing into a car, going airborne and then smashing broadside into a taxi cab. The crash is so violent, the body of the cab is torn from the frame. The driver, Mohammed Sadi, is killed instantly. His passenger, Tanya Hairston of the Bronx, New York, is thrown from the car and pinned underneath. Chief Tom Stryker said she's blind and her white cane was found under her body.
Unfortunately, it appears as though she was on her way to Union Terminal to catch the 3 a.m. Amtrak train back to New York when this accident occurs.
The SUV comes to rest against a parking meter, and its driver, Mark Girth, is charged with 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide and 1 count of aggravated vehicular assault.
There's indication from smell and view of him that alcohol consumption is a factor here. My understanding is that there's also information indicating perhaps the abuse of crack.
Now, Chief Stryker said that Girth gave an address in Louisville, but also been staying at the drop-in center. And he's also considering talking to the prosecutor about bumping the charges up to felony homicide, which could carry a life term in prison. And Clyde, coming up at 6, Chief Stryker weighs in on when the proper police procedure was used in this pursuit.
Want to hear that one. All right, Tom McKee reporting live downtown. The cab driver who died in that crash would have celebrated an anniversary today. Mohammed Sadi began dating his wife Kathy 8 years ago today. They met working at the airport as cab drivers. Kathy Sadi says theirs was a match made in heaven.
It was just perfect. It was kind and gentle. He would do anything for anybody. I never met anybody that didn't love him. If there's anything as such as an angel on earth, there would have been him.
Kathy Sadi says the coroner told her husband died instantly, suffering a broken neck in the crash. Tonight on 9 News at 6, she talks about their life together and why he worked so hard to become a citizen.
Such